Hey guys, today I'm doing a tag video for you. This tag I saw Amber F do recently and I started out watching it and then I made myself quit about a few questions in because I didn't want to hear all her answers and give some of the same ones. So I'm going to have to watch her video as soon as I'm done filming this. But I did watch part of it enough to know that I had to do this tag. It's probably the most fun tag I've ever seen on YouTube. I don't know if it was originally started by the page Alicious or if she just tagged Amber or if Amber saw her tag. I don't know, but I'll link both of their channels down below. So let's just get started. It is, did I even tell you what it's called? It's called the 90s Kid Tag. I'm so sorry, I didn't even say that. That's the most important part. I grew up in the 90s. I was born in 1984, so I definitely was around for the entire part of the 90s, starting with the very beginning being I was in kindergarten or first grade. So yes, I remember Vanilla Ice, Ice Ice Baby. I remember listening to that on the playground in first grade. So I remember it all, the good, the bad, the ugly, everything. At the time, certain things seemed hideous, but now looking back, I have fond memories of them, and the 90s are coming back and I'm loving it. I don't think I'm going to jump on the acid wash jeans boat, but the darker lips, I decided to wear a little bit darker 90s inspired lip for the video, and with fall coming, it's perfect. So let's just get started. Number one, favorite TV show. Oh man, I had so many. Okay, my favorite, probably hands down TV show of the 90s was Beverly Hills 90210. I started watching that when I was in third grade, and my mom told me I could not watch it because it was definitely too advanced for me. So I would kind of sneak and watch it occasionally, and then when I got in middle school, she let me watch it. So I was able to finish it out when it ended. But I've since rewatched it. I've seen all the episodes probably a million times. I could tell you everything about it. It's probably my favorite TV show ever. As far as other TV shows, I definitely liked Full House, Doug, Hey Dude. I loved Hey Dude. I was in love with Ted. I loved Rainbow Bright and Care Bears and My Little Ponies, but that's probably going a little more into the 80s. So those were probably my TV shows. I liked Step by Step. I know when I get done with this video or I watch hers, there's probably going to be some answers that I forgot because there was just so, I mean, we're talking about a decade. Oh, favorite toy. Ooh, that is hard. There were so many cool toys. You know that ultimate yo-yo where you could do it and it would automatically come back? I really liked that. The little toy that Kevin had from Home Alone that you could talk in and it changed the voice, you know, that it used for the robbers. I had one of those. That was a lot of fun. My Super Nintendo, I really liked that. I even had, it wasn't a Sega Genesis. It was like the handheld Sega. It was about this big. I had one of those. That was a lot of fun. I really liked baby dolls, Cabbage Patch dolls. I loved them. So that's probably my favorites. Number three, favorite commercial. I don't really have like a favorite commercial. I don't think any kid probably really does. But I remember the Budweiser commercials were really popular then. Like the Budweiser, the frogs. And you would have different people, like the frogs, and they always had the Clydesdale horses. Those were pretty much any Super Bowl commercial. This is the only one I can really remember. Okay, number four, NSYNC or Backstreet Boys. NSYNC all the way. I liked Backstreet Boys okay, but I definitely was into NSYNC. I saw them in concert once. I always was a Lance Bass fan. I just couldn't look past his, I knew he was just too pretty, but I just couldn't see it. But I definitely liked NSYNC. They were my favorite. And I still like Justin Timberlake a lot. Okay, weirdest fashion trend. Weirdest? Well, I didn't like the acid wash jeans. I had some of those. But do you remember the acid wash jeans, how they were so bulky up top? And then they were just like tapered legs. And you would get like the neon buttons. And like your pockets area would be like all the buttons clustered around. That was not pretty. And then the bangs, girls' bangs, you know, you had your bangs here and you would curl them and tease them. So it was like layers, like the taller the better. And perms, oh gosh, I got my hair permed once or twice. That just was not good. That wasn't really a fashion trend. But the really bad tapered leg jeans, like mom looking jeans, those were bad. They just gave you mom butt. They were ugly, ugly. Okay, 6, favorite collectibles. Pogs, trolls. The trolls, you know, like if you put a troll in your window, you got friends or something like that. I remember I had a troll in my window. I did like troll stuff. I had Pogs. I don't really even remember what you did with Pogs other than collect them, and you had them in the tubes, and you had like a slammer. They were just something, a collectible, I guess. I think Pokemon cards were around back then. I didn't do the Pokemon thing. So probably Pogs and trolls. Okay, 7, favorite Beanie Baby. I didn't get into the Beanie Baby phase, but my mom did buy me the Princess Diana Beanie Baby when that came out. And I actually still have it. It's on a shelf in the office. That's probably the only Beanie Baby I've ever owned. I've had a few of like the little Walmart ones. Not Walmart, sorry, McDonald's Happy Meal toys. And maybe like a few random ones somebody might have given me. But I never got into those. 8, how many Tamagotchis did you go through? I love Tamagotchi. That was probably another favorite toy. That was in like late middle school, so I was really, I guess, good age for that. I went through quite a few. It was a hard thing to keep them alive, because I remember at first you couldn't pause them, and when you were at school you couldn't really take care of them, so they would unfortunately die because you couldn't, you know, clean up their poop and feed them and stuff. And I remember buying multiple ones, and then it's been quite a few years. It's probably been about 10 years. Me and some of my friends in college, we decided to go to Walmart and get a Tamagotchi to just play with for the heck of it, to bring back memories. And it wasn't as fun then, but it was still kind of fun. Okay, 9, favorite game console plus game. Definitely Super Nintendo. I got that for Christmas one year. Maybe like 95, I don't really remember. And I absolutely loved the Super Mario Brothers. I loved Donkey Kong. I probably had all of those. Donkey Kong was probably my favorite, and Super Mario Brothers, like the original world. And I had the All-Stars, which I like that okay. But yeah, I liked Mario and Donkey Kong. Those were my favorites. I had some other ones, but I never played the other ones like I did those. Those were the ones I could have just those and been happy. My husband still actually has his Super Nintendo. Mine kicked the bucket. And occasionally him and my stepson will get it out and play. And of course he thinks the graphics are probably garbage, but it's fun. And I enjoy it because I'm really good on that. All these new game consoles, like the PlayStation stuff and those kind of games, I don't get into those. I like the old school one. Favorite Disney movie. The Little Mermaid. Of course, it came out in, what, 89? So it was real popular then. It was new. Oh, The Lion King. It came out in the 90s. It was so good. I went to the movies to see that as well. I was at the age where it was almost like, I was almost a little too cool to go see a cartoon movie, but I had to go see The Lion King, and it was really good. Okay, 11. Favorite music artist. I really liked country when I was younger as well. That was probably my favorite genre. So I enjoyed country more than I enjoyed all the other stuff. But I definitely did get into, in the later years, like, you know, Ace of Base, all the late 90s, like that kind of alternative genre is my absolute favorite. The Wallflowers, I loved them. I mean, just all of that stuff. The Goo Goo Dolls, there's so much. 90s pop, radio, like alternative stuff, I absolutely love it. Oh God, you know, I mean, you know all of them. Like if you watch that movie, I think it's Empire Records. I love them. Bush, I love them. So, like I guess in my younger years, I really liked country. Garth Brooks, obviously. All that kind of stuff. I mean, goodness, you can think of any of the stuff. And then later years, obviously, all that. There were so many. Savage Garden. There's, you know, a ton of one-hit wonders. The Mighty Mighty Boss Tones. There's a lot of those from the 90s. There's a lot everywhere, but I just remember being, you know, there's so many just super big hits, like Chumbawamba, stuff like that. Good music, good music. Music today is garbage compared to that. Okay. 12, favorite Nick Jr. show. Nick Jr. Oh gosh. I would watch a lot of it, but I didn't necessarily always liked it. I enjoyed Nick at Night so much more. I loved the old shows. I loved Lucy and Dragnet and Dick Van Dyke and the Mary Tyler Moore Show. But Nick Jr., I liked David the Gnome because it was kind of weird. You know, he would ride around on that fox. I would watch Eureka's Castle, but it was kind of weird. I didn't like those puppet things. I didn't really like a lot of that stuff. Okay. 13, favorite candy. Fruit by the Foot and Dunkaroos. Loved that. It's kind of a snack, both of those. I don't really eat candy, but I liked those. And the, you know, the gum and the dispenser that was kind of like Fruit by the Foot, but you know, that I liked that. And I did kind of like those squeezy tubes of that, like that jelly that was probably pure sugar. Dunkaroos. Okay. 14, favorite game. Board game, school game, etc. Mall Madness. I had Mall Madness. There is a sale at the fashion boutique. I was showing my husband that. We looked it up on YouTube, like a little ad for it not long ago. I loved it. Oh, and I had this other one. It was like a fairy. You had the little video cassette tape, and you put in your cassette player, and you'd go around through your house trying to find fairies, and you had rocks and stuff. If any of you played that, please tell me down below, because I cannot remember what it is called. But I really enjoyed that game. It was kind of weird, but I liked it. Okay, 15, favorite McDonald's Happy Meal toy. Truth be told, I really didn't like McDonald's food. I would get my mom to get me a Happy Meal, and she would always say, "Are you going to eat the food?" Because I couldn't stand the chicken nuggets and the hamburgers and the cheeseburgers. The way the cheese would hang off of the burger and it would just be solid, well, it disgusted me. So I liked those crazy toys, like it would be like a sandwich, and like you would unfold it and it became like a character. And I liked that there was like characters like the burglar and all those, which now like they don't even exist. They've just abandoned that. And the Halloween buckets, I liked those kind of 80s or 90s, whatever they were, toys. 16, favorite book. I loved the book Freckle Juice. I actually got it at a book sale not long ago for my daughter. I can't wait to read that again. I loved the Amelia Bedelia books. I loved the Babysitter's Club and Sweet Valley. Oh, I love Sweet Valley Twins, Sweet Valley High, and Sweet Valley University, which I started reading later. Oh man, I was addicted to that Sweet Valley University. I was probably even a little too young to be reading something like that, but I loved it. I was obsessed with when they were Sweet Valley Twins and they had to wear something purple every day, and I think their mascot was a unicorn. I loved it. They had a TV show for a short period of time. And the Babysitter's Club, me and some of my friends in 3rd grade made our own little Babysitter's Club. We were too young to babysit, but I guess we were like preparing. And they had a TV show for a short period. And it is actually on Netflix. And I watched one of those the other day, and it is so cheesy. I wanted to be Christy. So yeah, what was that? Favorite book? Okay, 17, favorite clothing store. The first like clothing store that I really remember caring about going to was Limited Too, which I think is now Justice. But back then it was very fashioned after Clueless. Like the little plaid things that look like her plaid suit she wore, and the knee-high socks, which I don't think I ever actually wore any of the knee-high socks. But I did like Limited Too. And they just had neat like little things in there too besides clothes. So it was pretty fun. Okay, 18. What would you watch when you'd get home from school? Well, for a long time where we lived, you didn't have cable yet. So we just had like basic TV. And I remember watching Tiny Toon Adventures a lot, which was not my favorite, but I watched it and I could, you know, sing that little theme song. And there for a while, I remember having the Disney Channel and watching Kids Incorporated. That was probably like leaning towards the 80s. But I really liked that show a lot. Those are the only ones I can really remember. Hey Dude, of course. Loved Hey Dude. Loved Ted. I think that's about it that I can think of. I know there's going to be so many more I'm going to forget, and if I can think about it after I film this, I might just write some of the stuff down in the description box that I loved from the 90s that I forgot to mention, because there was so much. Oh, and about the favorite toy, I always wanted those moon shoes that you could put your foot in and bounce and stuff. I never got those. I always wanted those. They seemed so cool. So, okay, that was all. That was so fun. If any of you make YouTube videos and you grew up in the 90s, please do this tag. It would be so fun to watch. And if any of you that watch my videos, even if you don't make videos, if there's anything from the 90s that just struck out to you that you want to mention and we can reminisce together in the comments, tell me down below, because it's super fun to think about that. Me and my little stepson sometimes will look up 90s cartoons intros. DuckTales, speaking of. I also like the Gummy Bears. I don't know if they were 80s. And we'll watch that. It's like a bunch of the intros together. And he thinks some of them are crazy. But I love it. And I can still remember most of the theme songs. They look so strange to him, I'm sure. But anyways, tell me down below anything that you think of. Like if you're like, oh, I love this show or this movie. Because it would be really cool to hear. So anyways, that's all. This tag was so much fun. If you, the Page Alicia, started it, thank you for starting it. It was so fun. I'm going to go watch both of y'all's videos now that I've already answered my questions. And I will talk to you guys later. Bye.